Hey guys, welcome back to Writing with Miss Maxie. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and you're ready to jump back into writing. Let me share my screen so we can go over where we are and the materials for today. So it is day 11. We are still in step 6, revising. So let's say hi to Herschel. And we've already done step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and here we are at step 6, revise. Write time, revise your writing. Make your writing the best it can be. And I think we can do that. Today you're going to need your iReady writing book and a pencil. And our I can statements for the day are: I can analyze a draft mentor text. I can revise a narrative paragraph for time order words. And I can use a checklist to revise writing. So on Friday, if you need a little refresher, we read Ava's mentor text and we helped her revise it using a checklist. Today, we're going to have a little bit more practice with that. We're going to read Herschel's text and practice revising his text. So let's open up in our books to page 57. It should look like this. It will say guided practice, and you'll see our friend Herschel right there in the corner. Let's read what he's trying to say. Herschel said, I wrote about an important moment in Helen Keller's life. Can you help me make my paragraph better? We sure can, Herschel. Let's see what you wrote. Helen Keller couldn't see or hear. Anne Sullivan was trying to teach Helen how to understand words. Anne made the letter signs for WATER in Helen's hand. Helen and Anne went to the water pump. Then Helen understood. Okay, so let's read our steps. Right here, 4, it says underline the characters in green. So I think I forgot to tell you guys in our materials, but you will need a green and a yellow colored pencil and marker. Colored pencil or marker or crayon. A green and a yellow one. So go ahead and pause your video. Go find a green and a yellow colored pencil, marker, or crayon, and then come back. All right, welcome back. You should have your green and yellow colored pencil, marker, or crayon. And we are going to underline the characters that Herschel wrote about in green. So you can pause your video, underline in green, and come back when you're ready. We'll go over it together. So the characters I found were Helen Keller and Anne Sullivan. So I went ahead and underlined those in green. Next, it says underline details about what happened in yellow. So pause your video, underline your details about what happened in yellow, then come back and we'll go over it together. The details I underlined was everything except for the last sentence, starting with Anne Sullivan right here, was trying to teach Helen how to understand words. Anne made the letter signs for WATER in Helen's hand. Helen and Anne went to the water pump. Because I think those are details about how Helen finally began to understand that the letters Anne was writing on her hand formed words. So we've done steps 4 and step 5. If you want to take a minute and pause your video and change anything that you underlined to match mine, you can do that now. Come back when you're ready. We'll go on to number 6. Oh, and remember this hint, look for sentences with actions for the yellow part. So hopefully you have underlined in green and yellow and you're ready to move on to number 6. How can Herschel improve his paragraph? How can Herschel improve his paragraph? What do you think? You might have said that Herschel can tell the events in order, because if you look closely, his events are a little out of order, right? What did he mess up on? Right. He said that Anne made the letter signs in Helen's hand and then they went to the water pump, but really they went to the water pump first and then Anne made the signs in Helen's hand. So we can write here, we're going to say he needs to tell his events in order. Anne made the letter signs after they went to the water pump. Oops. Okay, so you can take a minute and copy this down, pause the video if you need to, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions. All right, so hopefully you finished copying down our response to number 6. And now I have a couple questions for you. My first question is, how does Herschel show in his paragraph who Anne Sullivan was? So remember, after I ask a question, you can pause your video, look back in the writing, whisper your answer to the screen, and then we'll keep going. So how does Herschel show who Anne Sullivan was? You might have said that Herschel shows who Anne Sullivan was by this sentence right here. Anne Sullivan was trying to teach Helen how to understand words. So we know that Anne is Helen's teacher, right? Okay, my next question for you. Are the events in the middle in order? Are the events in the middle in order? No, right? Because we already talked about that with number 6. He kind of switched up the events. And what could he do to fix that? Right, he could just switch those two sentences. So he could say Helen and Anne went to the water pump first, and then Anne made the letter signs for W-A-T-E-R in Helen's hand. So he just needs to switch those sentences so they're in the right order. Okay, my next and last question for you is, how could Herschel improve his ending? How could Herschel improve his ending? Because we see he has the beginning where he introduces the characters. He has the middle where he gives us details about what happened. And this last sentence would be his ending. Then Helen understood, but I kind of want some more, you know? How could he improve his ending? That's right. You might have said that Herschel could improve his ending by telling us how this changed Helen's life. He just says that she understood, but we want to know how it helped her in the future going forward. Okay, so now we've reviewed Ava's mentor text about George Washington, and we also reviewed Herschel's text about Helen. So we are going to use our skills, our revising skills, to revise our own paragraphs now. And as we reread and revise our own paragraphs, we want to be sure that we have included all 3 parts of a narrative. So remember, we need the beginning, the middle, and the end. We need to make sure our details describe the characters, the setting, and the event. And we need to check that what we've written is in the right order. We don't want to switch it up like Herschel. All right. So go ahead and open up in your writing books to page 64. Page 64. Here we go. It should look like this, and you should have already copied your beginning, your middle, and your end. So you'll have a bunch of writing here. We're going to use a checklist to revise our own writing. I'll share my screen so you can see the checklist, and I'll go ahead and read it for you. Lesson 2, narrative writing checklist, paragraph. Take a look at your beginning on page 64. And you can pause this video as we go throughout and check off in your head that you've done everything correctly. In your beginning, did I introduce the characters? Okay, so look at your book, page 64, where you copied your beginning. Did you write about the characters? Yes or no? Did I introduce the setting? Okay, so checking again, page 64. Did you talk about the setting? Where and when our story takes place? If the answer is no, take some time right now to edit it and make sure that you have the characters and the setting. Pause your video, fix your beginning, and then come back. We'll move on. For the middle, did I tell how the characters think, feel, and act? Okay, so go to page 64, check your middle. Did you tell how the characters think, feel, and act? If yes, then we're all good. If no, pause your video, fix it, and come back. Did I tell the events in order? If yes, you're good. If no, pause the video, fix it, and come back. For the end, does my ending finish my story? Yes or no? Does my ending make sense? Yes or no? So remember, you can pause the video, make sure everything is a yes. Make sure you are happy with your draft. Make sure your ending wraps up the story. Okay, let's move on to language and vocabulary. Did I use the best words to tell my ideas? Did I use time order words like first, next, then, and last? If not, go ahead and fix it on page 64 in your books. Let's move on. Conventions. Did I end all sentences with a punctuation mark, like a period or a question mark or an exclamation mark? Did I capitalize sentences and the names of people and places? Make sure if you wrote any names or places, you started it with a capital letter. Did I check the spelling I used? I know we are all virtual right now, so you can ask your parent or maybe your sibling or an adult there to help you with your spelling if you need to. Okay, so that's it for our checklist. I just want to make sure that you guys have gone back in page 64 and revised everything, make it the best you can. And for our write time today, for our Schoology assignment, I want you to upload a picture of your revised draft on page 64. So I should be able to see your beginning, your middle, and your end. And it's okay if it looks a little messy. This is just our draft, and I know that you might have changed some things. So just upload a picture, and I will be excited to see everybody's hard work and excited to read what you wrote. and I'll see you guys for writing tomorrow. So have a great rest of your day. Bye.